Test. Hello, can you hear me? Awesome. Thank you. All right. We'll get started here in just a second. Perfect. Thanks, Silver Serpent. Thank you, Kevin. Let's see. Who all do we have? Silver Serpent, Southeast Stacking, Kevin Hawthorne. All right. Very well. All right. Just another minute and we'll get going. All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Turbo Stacking Live. This is actually my second live show, so bear with me as we figure this out together, I guess. Let us know where you're from in the chat. All right. I originally had an interview lined up for this topic from an insider, but over the period of 2 days, we were unable to hook up. So I wanted to go ahead and address this topic while it was still a topic because I think this week this topic is going to be in the rear view window. Um, I think we're in for some really big runs here really soon. So I couldn't wait to talk about this because it's huge. On November 27th and 28th, the COMEX, that's the commodities exchange, where silver and gold futures are traded, uh, the the servers went completely dark. Over 10 hours of shutdown. Now, the official story is that chillers failed in their data center, cooling systems uh, went down, servers overheated, and trading stopped. But here's where it gets interesting. This happened during a 9% silver run up, with silver approaching $54 an ounce and with a head of steam. And it happened on the day after Thanksgiving, literally the lightest trading day of the entire year. And it also happened in overnight, so that was in markets that aren't traded as heavily. These markets are supposed to have what's called N+2 redundancy. Now, I did some looking into this topic uh, before the video, and it appears that there's not a standard necessarily. Um, it's more by exchange. So I wasn't able to find what the actual redundancy is. But in general, I mean, I operate in this area, specifically, um, cloud redundancy. So I'm fairly familiar with N+1, N+2, and I've dealt with credit card companies and the military. So I'm familiar with redundancy, and it's just very surprising that they didn't have two standby backups. Now, is this a big deal? Well, it's something that we should look into. So, that's what I thought we'd do real quick is just look at the official explanation, examine the conspiracy theory, and then, hear what you think in the chat. So, anyway, so that's the official story, but here's where things get interesting. Let's um, let's examine some questions the mainstream media isn't asking. So silver breaks through $56, a level we haven't seen in years, and suddenly the world's largest precious metals exchange goes dark. Well, the I've seen $56 and I've also seen $54 that was approaching 54. Um, but I also have a article from I thought I had an article from Kitco. Yeah, that mentions it was about to hit $56. Oh, yeah, 54. Okay. Anyway, so it's approaching $54. It's been on a tear all week. And then all of a sudden the servers go down for 10 hours. Um, that's a long time. That's a really long time. Like 5 minutes is a long time. Um, in most markets. So anyway, for whatever that's worth. Um, so we're looking at 10 hours of complete shutdown. The chiller plant failure at CyrusOne data center in Aurora, Illinois. Where does it say? Somewhere in here, but anyway, the claim is that multiple units failed simultaneously, and this happens, again, the day after Thanksgiving, traditionally the slowest trading day of the year. Now, why would a data center hosting critical financial infrastructure have cooling failures? And what are the odds this happens during a major silver breakout? Do me a favor, drop a TS4L in the chat. And that's turbo stacking for life, by the way. If you're holding physical through this run up, or if you're selling, let me know that as well, by, I guess, typing selling in the comments. All right. So let's talk about established facts, not theories. In 2020, JP Morgan paid $920 million to the Department of Justice, not for a mistake, for running what prosecutors called a criminal enterprise, manipulating precious metals markets through spoofing. That's a legal term, for fake orders to manipulate prices. And they weren't alone. Deutsche Bank settled for $38 million in 2816 for silver price manipulation. So these aren't conspiracy theories. These are court documents and DOJ press releases. Let's see if we can get one of these. Is this it? Is this? Oh, here we go. This is the article I meant to be showing here. Sorry, guys. It's live. Forgive me. Um, so anyway, there is a precedence for this. Um, Everybody knows about J.P. Morgan. Probably fewer know about Deutsche Bank, but the fact is that silver has been manipulated in the past, in many people's opinion. Um, but you know, I may have said the fact is, that's not necessarily a fact. Um, these two were facts. So there you go. Now, here's where it gets really interesting, though. Industry experts estimate there's a 200-to-1 ratio of paper silver contracts to actual physical silver backing them. That means for every ounce of real silver, there are 200 paper claims on it. In October of 2025, just what, last month, 29 million ounces drained from the COMEX vaults in 30 days. That's physical metal walking out the door. And we're seeing backwardation in the futures market. That's when spot prices exceed futures prices, which signals physical shortage or a silver squeeze. So that's where it looks like we're heading. Where's Sprott? Let's see. Here we go. Yeah, here's the backwardation. The backwardation article here. Well, um, is it an article? Yeah, and a video. There we go. So anyway, this is a good article to take a look at over on sprottmoney.com. I'll leave a link to it in the description. So let's review what we know. Um, Banks have been convicted of manipulating silver prices. Physical silver is draining from vaults at record rates. The paper to physical ratio is astronomical. And right when silver breaks through a major resistance level, the exchange goes dark. I'm not saying I know exactly what happened, but I am saying there are questions we should be asking because at the end of the day, there's one thing that can't be manipulated: the physical silver in your hand. All right. Well, I want to hear from you. What do you think about this timing? Drop your questions in the chat and let's discuss. But first, let me address some common questions I'm already seeing. Let's see. What do we have here? Yes, it is. Silver Serpent, it is 57.82. Let's see. Kitco currently, well, I'm showing 57.70 currently, but um, yes, it is running up, and that's what we'll talk about here with um, Silver Seeker. Actually, let me see if I can play this Silver Seeker video here. I don't know. I don't want entire screen. Let's see how well that works. Okay, it's not going. Hmm. Hmm. All right. Well, apparently, I have some throughput issues, some more than likely internet related issues with streaming while playing a video. That's fun. Great. Anyway, basically, there were a lot of things that happened last week um, that kind of culminated Friday when the government, Wednesday and Friday, I guess, including job numbers that were positive, um, the technical outage, of course, a drop in regional manufacturing activity, and durable good orders. That was a big one as well. Oh, and labor data that showed we are still fairly resilient. So anyway, there we go. All right, let's read a couple of comments here. Forbidden Planet. I'm afraid we may be heading towards a situation where a lot of countries nationalize their precious metals bonds. Yeah, that may. Wow, that would be something. Um, it would set us behind. I think we'd have to ramp up our national. Silver mining isn't silver is mined as a byproduct of other metals, but it appears that so many metals are now on the I can't remember what the list is called, but the national security something or another, um, which bumps up the priority and the permitting will hopefully get faster. But if we lose access, some of these countries like Mexico and in South America and in Canada, if mines get national, we'll have to ring. really. Hey, silver seeker. Sorry about that. All right, let's see. Um, we're heading for a force mohair. They won't be able to fill orders. Yeah, I think we're definitely looking at a silver squeeze for sure. Oh, okay. The third world nations. Sure. And that'll also, hurt silver mining. I think a lot comes from Africa as well. Um, and a lot of third world countries there, but it would make sense. It's going to be, a big money maker in the future. Saw some reports or thoughts or videos about 2027, Trump gearing up for a a gold backed currency, but we'll see. I've heard as soon as July 4th of this upcoming year, our 250th anniversary, but who knows? It's crazy, crazy, crazy. Yeah. That was funny. Mohair, right? Mohair. All right. All right. Well, let's see. What else can we glean here? Well, we covered a little bit. I just wanted to get my thoughts out on this. I think I don't know what to think, to be honest. Being in the industry, I mean, here in 10 hours, I'm going to be, you know, what I do for a living is I'm a cloud engineer, so infrastructure specifically. I'm actually in the process of designing and deploying disaster recovery infrastructure. So this is right up my alley. I mean, literally, I'm deploying disaster recovery in the morning. So I know this topic, and it just seems a little strange to me, especially for 10 hours. That's, and I don't know. I don't know. Anyway, all right, guys. Well, whether the COMEX shutdown was technical failure or something more, we may never know for certain, but we do know that physical silver can't be shut down, can't be manipulated, and can't disappear from your safe. So, if this situation taught us anything, it's that electronic systems are fragile. Physical assets aren't. So, here's my challenge: don't just watch from the sidelines, do your own research, check those DOJ links in the description, look at the vault data, at the vault drain data, and decide for yourself if you have enough physical silver to weather whatever comes next. If you found value in the stream, smash a like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and drop a comment with your biggest takeaway. I read every single one. Stack smart, stack safe. I'll see you, let's see, probably in 4 days. So, peace out. Take care. And God bless.